Good evening, ladies and gentlemen out there in YouTube land. I am Deleted Scenes, and I want to welcome you to episode 24 of Unscripted. Already in the chat, we have friend of the channel, Jedi Bill. And Big Al Presents. Alright, well, yeah, it's been a hell of a week. And it's, kind of felt like it too outside. We are in the middle of a heat wave. It did rain where I live on and off yesterday. Uh, didn't help things too much though. So what you might be hearing in the background is the fan that I have about 6 feet away from me. So give me some allowances for that. All right. Well, yeah, it's been one of those weeks, and it was tough, and some of it was my fault, and I haven't been well the last couple of days either, because I kind of bopped myself on the noggin, and now I've been a little, but I'm fine. I'll live. It's happened before. It's an old condition. I'll get past it. We have in the chat Troy Pacelli. The Who says it's global boiling. Yeah, well, but you know what they'll do? They'll blame us for it in some fashion, and we're going to be talking about that tonight. We're going to be talking about the people who commit crimes and misdemeanors with impunity, the people who get away with it. We're going to talk about the people who cause all of the wrongs and blame us for it. Now, you get this carjacking incident that happened in San Francisco. What the press refers to as the Sanchez Stairs incident, where the people responsible for that crime have basically been set free. There are going to be no charges. And hello to Netters Network. We have the case of this woman, Carly Russell, who basically faked this kidnapping and is now blaming white people for her problems. No. You are the one who chose to get your 15 minutes of fame by making up a crime. Nobody feels sorry for you. Bumped yourself on the head falling down the stairs, and your dad had to rush you to the hospital, and then all the windows and doors disappeared. Aztec Skinamarink. That is exactly what happened, in fact. Yeah. And I have been trapped here for 16 years in a hell realm of despair. No. And anyone who's not yet seen Skinamarink, it's on Shudder for free. Buckle up. Give it a look. I tell you, the world's kind of felt like we're living in that movie, lately. And one of the first things that I want to bring up, this would be what I would refer to as the misdemeanor section. corporate malfeasance, for sure. All right. We have. Oh, okay, that's not happening. Hold on. There we go. Um, all right. 49.2 million. This was the cost on the pre-production for the Acolyte, the latest from Disney, the latest Star Wars series. Executive produced by Kathleen Kennedy and directed by Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant, Leslie Headland. Okay, now 49.2 million. And remember, this is just on pre-production alone. Is more than half of the entire budget of Oppenheimer. Pre and post-production added. 90 million. Now, when all is said and done on The Acolyte, this show is going to cost upwards of 250 million to produce. And that's just based on the numbers that have been made public. It's probably much more than that. Now, I have called this a money laundering scheme. And I've been corrected on that. But, folks, Disney does not have the money to continue spending this kind of money on a production. Hollywood in general no longer has the money. Now, there have been other YouTubers who are under the idea that Kathleen Kennedy is on her way out the door. And The Acolyte may very well be the wooden stake that finally gets shoved through her heart. However, I am not going to believe that until I see it. And I'm not going to believe it until she's out the door. It's been announced that she's out the door. She says that she's out the door, and she's been replaced. Now, the problem with that is, say Kennedy is removed. Rather, she's allowed to retire if she's straight up fired. Who replaces her? Now, Disney has doubled and tripled down on agenda politics. And the man in charge, Bob Iger, and I keep saying Disney, it's not the Disney company, man. It's not the Walt Disney Company anymore. It's the Bob Iger Company. This man is not going to fix the problem. He is the problem. It's his policies that have brought his company to this point. And nothing that they do is going to work. Their movies are failing. Snow White is going to be a disaster. Secret Invasion is the lowest rated show in the history of Disney Plus, and that's including Willow, which they've already pulled off of the air and put in a vault. And the Acolyte is going to go into that vault as well, I believe. The super feminist director, right? Yes, she is. Um, and that's the problem. She's another one who thinks she's untouchable. Um, he is the problem. I just pictured the astronaut meme, always has been. Yeah. Now, like I said, say this is what finishes Kennedy. Fine, great. I want her gone as much as everybody else. But here's the thing, who replaces her? She is not the only problem. They have so tied themselves to this agenda. It's like, it's a cancer. It's to me it's like Watergate. All of the president's men are involved. So simply firing Kennedy will not help. You've got to get rid of Iger. You've got to get rid of the Pablo Hidalgos, the David Arnolds, the Carrie Becks. They all have to go. All of them. And then you got to find a team who is able to right the ship. And I don't think they have anybody right now. Now, in a couple of weeks, there's going to be a stockholders meeting. That whole thing where they call in, and that Valiant Renegade um, has simulcasted on his show before. Now, that's going to be one hell of a show. Because this is when Nelson Peltz is going to work his magic. And I hope that the stockholders are able to communicate to Bob Iger and that he will listen to them, because this is a sinking ship right now. And hello to D. Penzak. Jedi Bill says, if I could cast a vote, I would vote for Jon Favreau. Yeah, but the problem is, how much power within Lucasfilm, if any, does Jon Favreau have? Because Kennedy has already placed Dave Filoni, her lapdog and Yes Man, in charge of Star Wars. But it's not Star Wars. It's the Filoniverse. It's his characters. What he's cribbed together from what was once the EU into whatever he's trying to turn it into now. Now, my word to Dave Filoni is, Number one, stop dressing like a fucking lumberjack. You've never had an axe in your hand in your life. And also, just get a blow-up doll of Ahsoka already and get that shit over with. This is kind of sick now. You know, um, they're going to take Heir of the Empire and they're going to boulderize it into this Ahsoka Tano series, and it's going to fail. And you know what they're going to do? They're just going to say, racist, sexist fans. And that's what they're going to say about The Acolyte when that fails. And they're not going to take the lesson that they spent too much fucking money on it. Too much money that they do not have. Now, there are people who say that this show is not real. The show is real. That doesn't mean it's going to be good. You know, I think it's 50-50 that it even airs. And that kind of depends on what happens at the stockholders meeting. Now, they have spent, the Bob Iger company has spent so much money on The Acolyte that they have no choice but to air it. But if there is a stockholders' revolt, and it's damn well time for one, with their stock at the lowest ever, $85 a share. It's time. Because the Magic Castle's burning, folks. And they can blame us all they want, but they did it to themselves. They have this Haunted Mansion film. Now, based on everything I've heard, it's a perfectly harmless movie. It's not woke, and you can take your kids to it. Based on what I've heard. I've yet to see it, but based on everything I've heard, it is a perfectly harmless movie. But it's failing. Because parents don't trust Disney anymore. Jedi Bell says, I'm a horrible speller, sorry. Don't worry about it, I am a shit typist, myself. So, don't worry about a thing. D. Penzak says, killed half of my brain cells watching For Free the Barbie movie last night. Agree with you and Troy about it. Yeah. And we're going to be getting to Barbie here very soon. But I gotta tell you, man, with the this Acolyte show, it is going to bomb, and it is going to bomb hard. One failure after another. And eventually, those in charge at the Bob Iger company, Bob Iger, Kathleen Kennedy, Kevin Feige, or whoever the hell is in charge of Marvel these days, I don't even know. They're going to have to look at themselves. And they're going to have to do some serious soul searching and realize how badly they screwed up here. They had the MCU. They had Star Wars. They had Indiana Jones. They had Willow. And they let them all die. They followed Rian Johnson's advice. Let the past die. That's what they did. And they have no one to blame but themselves. Because even the normies aren't watching this shit. Check the numbers website box office. Yeah, that is a good place to go for up to date information when it comes to box office. I agree. Um, Now going away from that, D. Penzak did bring up Barbie, and I do want to talk about that. Now, I watched Barbie on Friday afternoon, and well, what can I say? Uh, I'm not a fan. I'm just not. It's I get it that this was a movie not meant for me, and I was willing to just pass it off as such. It was going to. Hold on. Should we allow the cast of acolytes' inability to describe their characters, etc., tarnish the visibility of the show? Yeah, because let's face it, they're not characters; they're stereotypes. They're checking off boxes. The cast of The Acolyte is doing the same thing that the cast of Barbie did. They're letting us know ahead of time what we're going to be in for. Now, as you see from this story here from Variety, um, Barbie is already up to 477 million worldwide. This movie is on its way to a billion, folks. This neo-Marxist, misandrist turd of a movie that looks pretty and has pretty people in it, but that's it. It's hollow. It's plastic. But this movie may very well make more money than any other movie this year. And I don't know what to say to that. I think the normies just see Barbie and nothing else. They got live action Barbie. Hooray. Worldwide, 774, 502,851. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know what movie they saw. Isn't that the domestic box office only? Yeah, the 95 million at the time of this article was domestic only. Yeah, but worldwide, it's already up into 700 millions. The 46 million. The 46 million was for Oppenheimer. Yeah, which again, not bad. Um, um, Both of these movies overperformed. Um, which for Oppenheimer is a good thing. For Barbie, I am shocked as hell. You know. Now this is now. I mean, now the good thing for Oppenheimer is That's already more than half of their production budget. So I think it's going to do pretty well. It's going to make its money back for sure. 400, 388, 430 worldwide for Oppenheimer. You see? There you go. You know, these are two movies that have already made their money back. They've made their production costs back. Not very many movies this year can say that, but they can. So you got to give them both props for that. Um, it does bother me that Barbie is doing as well as it is based on the kind of movie that it is. I don't like the fact that a movie like Oppenheimer is handcuffed to a movie like Barbie with this, you know, all these Barbenheimer memes and all that. Which I get, I mean, they're counter programming to one another. I'll give you that. But this is an example of going woke but not going broke. Troy says, "Birth of the Nation for fourth wave feminists." Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. But the trouble is like Birth of the Nation, you're going to have too many people around going, oh, the old days. Don't you just miss them? You know? Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, 45% drop in number 5 slot. Yeah, that's too bad because, you know, not only did both of these movies roll over Mission Impossible, the movie that did Mission Impossible in was Sound of Freedom. Nobody expected that movie to do the business that it has. So, this, and these are all movies that are of varying qualities, to us, the people who have gone out there and seen these movies and reviewed them. Um, I obviously did not like the Barbie movie. However, if that brought people back to theaters, great. People went out to see Sound of Freedom. Good. Despite the fact that the theater chains and the mainstream press tried to sabotage that movie. People said, fuck you, we're going to see it anyway. And people went out to see Oppenheimer. And people went out to see Mission Impossible. Maybe not enough people, but people did go to see it. Oppenheimer's for a smarter audience, while Barbie is dumbing down film for the masses who still can't see the crap that it is. Exactly. Exactly right. They don't see it for what it is. They just see what's on the surface. All right, now the next thing I want to talk about is I'm going to talk about a couple of people who are going to probably get me into trouble. And I'm going to talk about a few people who are probably going to get me into trouble. And one of them is a certain president's son who once had in his possession a certain laptop that had certain photos and documents on it. Well, he went to court this week and only got charged with a misdemeanor when he could have been looking at some very serious jail time. But, shock and surprise. Um, it didn't quite happen the way that the federal prosecutors thought it was going to. Uh, Careful, don't get Epsteined. Yeah, I think I'm about to. Um, my 74-year-old mother took my 7-year-old niece to see Barbie and said it was over her head, but my mother enjoyed the film and said it's a great chick flick. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Is women are going to like the Barbie movie, and in particular, women under the age of 30, because this is right up their alley. Now, I don't deal with women under the age of 30, and I'll tell you why. Number one is because past that point, I'm old enough to be their father, and I decided a long time ago that I wasn't going to be one of these creepy fuckers who are going to be following teenage girls around all the time. Okay, Uh, Jenna Ortega, good looking girl, but I'm old enough to be her father, you know? you know, and I'm not going to go there. Find a decent guy your own age. Now, the trouble with that is young women these days treat men like accessories. They treat them like Ken dolls. They treat them like they're walking wallets and nothing more. You know, Barbie's a breakup movie. It's as simple as that. It's not about getting together. It's a breakup movie. Not that it matters what happens in court. His daddy will just pardon him before he leaves office, and himself too, for that matter. Yeah, I'm sure that'll happen, unless, of course, you know, somebody has an accident. Yeah, Jen Ortega's gotta quit hitting you up. Move on. Yeah. Uh, yeah. I mean, she just got Emmy nominated for the Wednesday show. Congratulations. And by the way, the Emmys have been canceled. If the strike goes past September, there will be no Emmys. Um, which is probably something I'll talk about a little bit more in a later show. Some of these cancellations that have taken place. Um, Now, another person that I want to bring up is our old pal Kaiser Soze, um, Kevin Spacey, who obviously believes that he is Kaiser Soze, or at least Frank Underwood. Um, it does help when every witness against you in your court case uh, all decide to self-delete around the same time. Yeah. I wonder how that happened. Uh, you know, I think he's been taking I think he's been taking advice from the Clintons. Kevin. Yeah. And hello to JPRPH1. Good to see you, sir. Just got home from work. Hope you're all doing well. Yep. Um, so all of the UK charges against Kevin Spacey have been dropped, and he's free to go until the next batch of charges comes up. You know, how long do you think he'll last? All right. Now, the next person I want to bring up is someone who you may not all be familiar with. And this is a guy by the name of Sam Bankman Fried. Now, this is a guy who has been. This is a guy who has been up on a number of charges. This man is a con man. This is a man who is suspected of stealing upwards of $2 billion. He is a crook. He is a straight up con man. He also gives a lot of money to the Democratic Party. He is a supporter of our current president. Now, I know some of you may be going, yeah, but, Steve, why are you talking about politics? Why can't you just go back and talk about Barbie for an hour? Because this is a man who is being protected by other people who are also crooks, crooked politicians, a dishonest media. These people, in the mainstream media, ginned up, this UFO nonsense, so that we weren't paying attention to the fact that Kevin Spacey was getting away with what he was getting away with, that Hunter Biden is getting away with what he's getting away with, that Sam Bankman fucking Fried is getting away with stealing money out of hard-working people's pockets. We have crooks running this country. They are people who are supported by crooks. They suppress movies like Sound of Freedom. Why? They hide Epstein's Little Black Book. Why? They shield people like Sam Bankman Fried. Why? And what did they do? When we call them on their shit, what do? They call us ists, they call us phobes, they call us conspiracy theorists, and they call us terrorists. All because we simply want to be left alone. We don't want this rampant crime. I don't know about you people, but I am tired of going outside and having to step around hypodermic needles in the street, human feces in the street, you know, drug addicted, mentally ill people lying in the street. It's not just the cities anymore, people. I live in the burbs, and it's happening here too. I don't recognize the town I live in anymore. Because it went from being this quiet, out of the way burg to now they may as well annex the town into Charleston and just be part of the fucking city. Because that's what they turned it into. Because our politicians here are lining their pockets, like our pal Mr. Bankman-Fried here. What is this country? People who deserve better. We don't ask for much. We just want a piece of ground that we can walk on. You know, I shouldn't have to worry about whether or not somebody's going to jump my fence or not. I shouldn't have to live someplace where gangs can come and shoot up the street and the cops do fucking nothing about it. Where they go and knock up on the people's door. Did you do the shooting? No, we didn't do it. Oh, okay, I can go home early. That actually fucking happened. Is it too much to books to be enforced? This is exactly what I'm saying. The laws that are currently on the books are not being enforced. They want to change the laws. They want to change the Constitution. The Constitution that they are not following. Laws that they are not enforcing. Laws that men like Jeffrey Epstein and Sam Bankman-Fried can go out and break with impunity. Rather, if you and I did shit like that, we would be in a cell in a heartbeat. Why? Because we are not giving money to certain parties. We aren't somebody's cousin. We aren't somebody special. Our daddy isn't president. Executive branch doesn't do its job, and the legislature just makes new virtue signal laws that will never be enforced. Cops do nothing. They will come out, take a statement, and make reports. Now, the cops, and I'm not blaming all cops. I grew up around cops. My dad was friendly with cops. My dad was law enforcement for a time. Now, a cop has to worry about a number of things because cops are killed in traffic stops and domestic disturbances more than any other crime. So I understand they're worried about whether or not they're going to get home at night. Cops have been trained to be afraid of us, of the general population. And we've been trained to be frightened of them. They have 38s. We go out and buy 9s. They get Glocks. We go and get shotguns. They come back with machine guns. We get machine guns. They come back with tanks. And it shouldn't be that way. The cops have been forced to get militarized. And it's a sad-ass state of affairs. Cops should be allowed to go out and capture drug dealers without being said, oh, you're a bunch of racists. They shouldn't be worried about if they make a bust, are they going to get arrested themselves for making that bust. Remember, this is about donating to 501 C3s. If you do, the government knows about it. It's not worth the tax deduction, so Uncle Sam can profile you. Yeah. It's a sorry-ass state of affairs. And I'm sorry, folks. I don't mean to get upset, but this stuff makes me angry. Because these people go out and break our laws, line their pockets with our money, and they get away with it every single day. And then they accuse us of being the problem. So too Bob Iger, Kathleen Kennedy, Leslie Headland, Kevin Spacey, Hunter Biden, Sam Bankman-Fried. Sort your fucking shit out. Because I, for one, am somebody who will not cover for you. I will go on the air and I will name you and I will call you on your shit. You're criminals. You need to be behind bars. You've ruined people's lives. You've stolen their money. You burned your own corporation to the ground. And we're supposed to feel sorry for you? Absolutely not. I'm tired of it, goddammit! I'm sorry, and I don't want to say that word, but I've been on this planet for 50 years, and I have never seen it change. We need to speak up. We need to start speaking up, and we need to do it now. Criminals are running our country. There are people who are running our corporations, who are running entertainment corporations, that are grooming children, that are straight up racist. And it's time to call these people on their shit. All right, and that's my 2 cents. And yes, Geeky Geezers is going to be starting in about 10 minutes. Don't worry, this show will be done before Geeky Geezers starts. That's the... Thank you, Bill. All right. Gotta go get ready for the next stream. My netters, my apologies. If you're still there, I let that one slip. I'm sorry. Um, all right. Yes, Geeky Geezers is up next. See you over there. Hashtag own physical media. Okay, folks. Um, this is that part of the show, uh, which is our physical media segment. And of course, let me move about the room because I do not have this stuff next to me right now. All right. Now, earlier today on Western Cinema Presents, hosted by friend of the channel, Jedi Bill. um, Earlier today, we watched the movie Return of the Seven. I heard that. Yeah, I'm sorry, Netters. I really do. I do apologize. Uh, we watched Return of the Seven, which is the sequel to the 1960 Magnificent Seven, of course, which was a remake of, which was of course a remake of. Let me get this asshole off the screen here. All right, back to me. All right, it was the sequel to the Magnificent Seven, and of course, the Magnificent Seven was a remake of Seven Samurai by Akira Kurosawa, and was remade in 2016 by Antoine Fuqua with Denzel Washington and Chris Pratt. Uh, I do appreciate the apology. Thank you. All right, so here, of course, this is actually the original DVD. I now have the 4K for this as well, which I think I've shown off on a previous show. And this was the movie that we watched earlier today, which was Return of the Seven, or as it's called here, The Return of Magnificent Seven. There are two titles. This is the third movie in the series, Guns of the Magnificent Seven. The first one without Yul Brynner. He's replaced by George Kennedy in this film. And here also is the fourth movie in that series, The Magnificent Seven Ride, with Lee Van Cleef. And there was a TV series that ran on CBS in the 90s for 2 seasons. I have a copy of that as well, and I recommend that as well. So, The Magnificent Seven films in the TV series. That's my video pick of the week. All right. Now, Return of the Seven co-starred the actor Warren Oates, who also a few years after that film co-starred in The Wild Bunch. And for my booktuber segment, inspired by the booktuber Criminali, who at the end of all of his videos takes a book off of his shelf and talks about it for a couple of minutes. And this is W.K. Stratton's The Wild Bunch, Sam Peckinpah and Revolution Hollywood in the making of a legendary film. And this is a pretty interesting book. It's about the making of The Wild Bunch and kind of how Hollywood was kind of, in the late 60s. So check it out. It's a good little companion piece to the film. And I want to welcome Lester the Skeptic Tank. Been listening to you. Believe that I hear and feel you. Yeah, I was a little vitriolic tonight, a little more than I went in wanting to be. But, I had some things that I needed to get off my chest. And one thing that I don't like, I don't like criminals getting away with crime. And, we have people running the country right now, running our corporations, and I believe these people are crooks. I believe they're criminals. And they should not be in the positions of power that they're in. All right. Now, Troy has dropped has dropped the link for Geeky Geezers. They're going to be starting in just a few minutes, so join me over there. I'll be in the chat. I have my the other side of the midnight show, which will be coming right after. That'll be starting at 12:05 Eastern. And I'm going to have a few guests, and we're going to have... It's not going to be like this show. It's going to be a chill stream. It's going to be open mic. It's going to be chill. This is the show where I get the vent. You know? And I called this episode 2 cents because I needed to put my 2 cents in, you know, on the events of the week, and you know what I didn't like what I saw. you know, and what I saw were, you know, a populace being distracted by the mainstream media so that these crooks could get away with their crimes. All right. Rant over. Show's over. I want to thank those of you in the chat for being here. Jedi Bill, Big Al Presents, Troy Pacelli, Netter's Network, Lester the Skeptic Tank, Deep Henzak, JPRPH1. Okay, I think I got to everybody. I want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank everybody who was lurking in the background for listening. Please give this episode a like, share out the stream, say hello in the comments because it helps the algorithm. If you're seeing the show for the first time, it's usually not quite this vitriolic, you know, but hey, you know, I pointed it in the right direction, you know. If you like what you see, please subscribe. If you are subscribed already, please make sure that you're still subscribed, because everybody is kind of dropping subs. You know, I had 217 yesterday, and I'm down to 214 today. So if you're a subscriber, make sure that you are indeed still subscribed. And if you're new to the channel, hit the bell icon for notifications. All right. That's it. That's the end of the show. Thank you all for being here. From HQ, this is your world. Leave it in a better place than you found it. From HQ, take care, stay strong, because this is how we win.